December 6, 1991, Austin, Texas. 4 teenage girls were working the closing shift at an I-can't-believe-it's yogurt shop in a quiet strip mall. It was supposed to be an easy night. Friday evening, winding down before the weekend. Clean up, close the register, lock up, go home. Amy Ayers, 13. Jennifer Harbison, 17. Her sister Eliza Thomas, 15. And Sarah Harbison, 17. Jennifer's best friend, not related despite sharing the last name, but close enough to be sisters. They were friends. They joked around during their shift, served the last customers, and started their closing routine around 10:45 p.m. The mall was emptying out. Just another night at work. By midnight, all 4 girls would be dead. At 11:48 p.m., a passing patrol officer noticed smoke coming from the yogurt shop. He called the fire department. When firefighters broke through the doors, they found an inferno, intense, deliberate, designed to destroy evidence. When they finally controlled the flames and searched the building, they found the girls in the back room. All 4 had been shot in the head, execution style. But that wasn't the worst of it. The medical examiner's report revealed details so disturbing that investigators kept them from the public for years. The girls had been bound, gagged, and sexually assaulted before being murdered. Their bodies had been stacked on top of each other and set on fire while they were already dead. An attempt to destroy DNA evidence. The youngest victim, Amy Ayers, was just 13 years old. She'd begged her parents to let her work there with her friends. It was her first job. Investigators immediately knew this wasn't random. The level of violence, the sexual assault, the methodical attempt to destroy evidence, this was personal, planned, or both. The yogurt shop had been ransacked. The safe was empty, about $540 missing. But investigators didn't believe robbery was the motive. The cash register still had money in it. The girls' purses were untouched. This wasn't about money. The fire had been set using accelerant, likely lighter fluid from the shop's supplies. Whoever did this knew the layout. They knew where things were kept. Most chilling, the timeline suggested the girls had been held for at least 30 to 45 minutes before being killed. The last customers left around 10:45 p.m. The fire was reported at 11:48 p.m. What happened in that hour? Police interviewed everyone who'd been near the strip mall that night. Several witnesses reported seeing suspicious individuals, but the descriptions didn't match. A woman saw 2 men in their 20s walking quickly away from the yogurt shop around 11 p.m. A customer remembered a creepy guy hanging around the shop earlier that evening, watching the girls. Another witness reported a white van parked behind the building with its lights off. A mall employee saw 4 teenagers, 3 boys and a girl, near the yogurt shop around closing time. But none of these leads went anywhere. Security cameras in 1991 were rare, and the strip mall didn't have them. Whatever happened in that yogurt shop happened without witnesses, without video, without any clear evidence of who was responsible. In the weeks after the murders, Austin police were overwhelmed. Tips poured in. Over 50 detectives were assigned to the case. They interviewed thousands of people, investigated hundreds of leads, but every trail went cold. Then, in 1999, 8 years later, police got a break. 4 men were arrested: Morris Pierce, Michael Scott, Robert Springsteen, and Forrest Wellborn. 2 of them, Springsteen and Scott, confessed to the murders after lengthy interrogations. Finally, it seemed like justice would come for Amy, Jennifer, Eliza, and Sarah. But the confessions had problems, serious problems. Robert Springsteen confessed first, describing in detail how he and Scott had robbed the yogurt shop and killed the girls. But his confession contained multiple errors. He described the shop's layout incorrectly. He got the number of victims wrong initially. He couldn't accurately describe what the girls looked like. Details about the crime scene didn't match the evidence. He claimed they'd used a .22 caliber gun, but the murder weapon was a .380. Michael Scott's confession was equally problematic. He described events that forensics proved couldn't have happened. He placed himself in locations that didn't exist. Both men later recanted, claiming police had coerced them during interrogations that lasted over 20 hours. In 2009, both convictions were overturned. DNA evidence found at the scene didn't match either man. They were released after spending years in prison for murders they likely didn't commit. The real killers were still out there. Modern DNA analysis revealed something disturbing. Genetic material from at least 2 unknown males was found on the victims. This confirmed what investigators suspected. Multiple perpetrators were involved, but the DNA didn't match anyone in the criminal database. Whoever killed these girls either had no prior arrests, or their DNA had never been collected. In 2014, Austin police announced they were using new genealogical DNA techniques to try to identify the killers, the same methods that would later catch the Golden State Killer. But unlike that case, the yogurt shop DNA hasn't yielded matches. The killer's DNA is in the system. Police know their genetic signatures, but they can't identify them. Over 30 years later, several theories dominate discussion of the case. Theory 1, the wrong place. Theory: some investigators believe the girls simply had the misfortune of working when dangerous predators walked in. The crime was opportunistic, seeing 4 young girls alone, vulnerable, closing up shop. The robbery was an afterthought to cover the sexual assault and murders. Theory 2, the targeted attack. Others believe someone knew the girls' schedule, knew they'd be alone, knew the layout of the shop. The crime was too controlled, too methodical for random opportunity. Someone had been watching them. Theory 3, the gang initiation. A darker theory suggests the murders were part of a gang initiation. Multiple perpetrators, extreme violence, proving loyalty through murder. This would explain the DNA from multiple males and the overkill nature of the crime. Theory 4, the serial killer. Could the yogurt shop murders be connected to other unsolved crimes? In the early 1990s, several young women were murdered in Central Texas under similar circumstances. Sexual assault, fire used to destroy evidence, multiple victims. But no definitive links have been established. The victims' families have spent 3 decades demanding answers. Barbara Ayers Wilson, Amy's mother, became an advocate for victims' rights. She's testified before Congress, pushed for changes in how police handle child murder cases, and never stopped searching for answers about who killed her 13-year-old daughter. Amy was afraid of the dark, Barbara said in a 2016 interview. She made me promise I'd pick her up after her shift that night. But I was tired. I told her to get a ride with the other girls. That decision haunts me every single day. The Harbison and Thomas families held a joint funeral for their daughters. Pam Ayers, Jennifer and Sarah's mother, described finding out both her daughters had been murdered in the same attack. "You don't recover from something like that," she said. "You just learn to carry it." In 2015, a shocking revelation emerged. Critical evidence from the crime scene had been lost or destroyed by the Austin Police Department. Boxes of physical evidence, including clothing, possible DNA samples, and items from the crime scene, were missing. Some had been accidentally thrown away during a department move. Others were simply never logged properly. The families were devastated. How could police lose evidence from one of Austin's most notorious unsolved murders? The department apologized, claiming it was a consequence of poor record-keeping in the 1990s. But the damage was done. Potential evidence that might have solved the case was gone forever. Over the years, several persons of interest emerged who were never charged. The former employee, a man who'd worked at the yogurt shop months before the murders and had been fired for inappropriate behavior toward female employees. He had no alibi for the night of the murders and failed a polygraph test. But police could never gather enough evidence to charge him. The mysterious caller. In 1992, someone called a tip line claiming to have information about the murders. The caller described details about the crime scene that hadn't been made public. Police traced the call to a payphone, but the caller never contacted them again. The convicted rapist, a man serving time for sexual assault in a nearby county, had bragged to cellmates about doing something big in Austin. He matched the age and description of one of the suspects seen near the yogurt shop. But his DNA didn't match the crime scene samples. None of these leads resulted in arrests. The case remained cold. One haunting detail emerged during the investigation. At 11:03 p.m., someone inside the yogurt shop picked up the phone. Phone records show the call lasted 17 seconds before being disconnected. No one spoke. No 911 call was placed. Just 17 seconds of an open line, then silence. Investigators believe one of the girls grabbed the phone during the attack, trying to call for help. But she was stopped before she could dial. Those 17 seconds might have been her last chance at survival. Who stopped her? And what was happening in that room that made her risk reaching for the phone? The yogurt shop is long gone. The strip mall has been renovated multiple times. But on the corner where the shop once stood, there's a small memorial. 4 crosses with the girls' names, flowers that are regularly refreshed, and photos of 4 smiling teenagers who never got to grow up. Every December 6th, the families gather there. Barbara Ayers Wilson brings Amy's favorite flowers. The Harbison family plays Jennifer's favorite music. Strangers stop by to leave notes, candles, and prayers for 4 girls they never knew. People ask me why I keep coming back, Barbara said in 2021, 30 years after the murders. Because someone knows what happened. Someone out there knows who killed my daughter, and I need them to understand that we haven't forgotten. We will never forget. The yogurt shop murders transformed Austin's sense of safety. Before December 6, 1991, Austin was seen as a safe college town, a laid-back city where violent crime was rare. After the murders, parents stopped letting teenagers work closing shifts. Businesses installed better security. The entire city became more cautious. The case also exposed failures in police investigation techniques. The false confessions led to reforms in how interrogations are conducted. Texas now requires electronic recording of interrogations in major felony cases, a direct result of the Springsteen and Scott wrongful convictions. But none of those changes brought justice for Amy, Jennifer, Eliza, and Sarah. Investigators believe several scenarios are possible. They're dead. It's been 33 years. The perpetrators could have died, taking their secrets to the grave. This would explain why the DNA hasn't matched despite expanded databases. And they left Texas. The crime was so high profile that the killers may have fled the state or even the country, knowing police were conducting massive investigations. They're in prison for other crimes. The DNA in the system might belong to men who were later imprisoned for unrelated crimes in states that don't share DNA databases with Texas, or who were arrested before DNA collection became standard. they're still in Austin. The most chilling possibility. The killers are still living in the area, walking the same streets, shopping in the same stores, living normal lives while 4 families live with permanent grief. What happened in those final minutes will never be fully known. The fire destroyed most physical evidence. The girls can't tell their story, and whoever killed them has kept silent for over 3 decades. But we know this: 4 friends showed up for work on a Friday night. They were doing everything right, working hard, following their closing procedures, probably talking about weekend plans and normal teenage things. Then someone walked into that yogurt shop with evil intentions, and in less than an hour, 4 lives ended in terror and pain. Amy Ayers was 13. She wanted to be a veterinarian. Jennifer Harbison was 17. She was planning to attend college in the fall. Eliza Thomas was 15. She loved art and wanted to be a teacher. Sarah Harbison was 17. She was Jennifer's best friend and was going to be her college roommate. None of them got the chance to become who they were meant to be. As of 2024, the Austin Police Department still lists the yogurt shop murders as an active investigation. They've assigned new detectives to review the case with fresh eyes. They're using cutting-edge genealogical DNA techniques. They're re-interviewing witnesses and following new leads. In 2022, police announced they'd identified a new person of interest based on DNA evidence, but they haven't made an arrest or released a name. The families remain hopeful but realistic. It's been 33 years, Barbara Ayers Wilson said recently. I don't know if I'll live long enough to see justice, but I need these killers to know we haven't given up. Someone knows what happened, and one day they'll talk. If you have any information about the yogurt shop murders, please contact the Austin Police Department Cold Case Unit at 512-974-5250.